All right, good evening. So we are going to do a talk today, an Ayurvedic talk on daily routines. And here's why this is important. And I actually wrote some notes because I want to make sure that I do not miss anything in this. But so we have a natural rhythm. Yes, Abby, that's totally fine. We have a natural rhythm that is part of nature, and we are part of nature. And when we live in sync with that, then we are connected to ourselves in a way we're able to really have a communication between ourselves and what's going on inside of us. And we instinctually begin to know what's right for our body and what's balancing and harmonizing. But because of our culture and society, we've lost our connection to these natural rhythms. So we're going to just talk about how to connect ourselves back to those natural rhythms. How can we do that? And that lies in our daily routines. So if we can simplify our life and connect back in a way that creates a routine where those natural forces can connect with us again, and we can also feel that connection, then we begin to move through life and have a better quality of life. And we just feel much more centered in how we do it. So in the body, you have this rhythm, and it's a natural basic rhythm, and it governs all of our natural urges. So remember, with natural urges, you never, ever stop natural urges. You always allow your natural urges to come up. So that means if you need to sneeze, you sneeze. If you need to eliminate, you eliminate. You do not hold it, right? Belching, all of those things, those are natural urges. There's a whole list of them. I did a whole talk on them. So we don't prevent our natural urges. We allow them, because if you do prevent them, you will cause an imbalance. Our natural urges also are connected to food and sleep, and then energy or sex. But also it's considered the 3 pillars of life. So the 3 pillars of life, when somebody comes in and I do an Ayurvedic consultation with them, I'm always looking at what's their digestion like, what's going on, what's their sleep like, what's going on, and how is their energy, right? Are they depleted? Do they have enough? Most people that come in, they don't have enough. They feel depleted. They get through their day, but they don't feel like they have enough. So it also can be communicated in a way that it's digestion, rest, and creativity. So your ability to be creative is directly connected to energy. Okay. So we have these unique rhythms that are based on our constitution, our dosha, which is also based on the elements and how much of the elements we have within us. And that is different for each person. You have all the elements, you're made up of all of them. And so your dosha is going to be a combination of those elements, right? So we want to make sure that we're bringing our basic rhythms into harmony so that the subtle rhythms that are within us can then manifest, okay? So we begin to then look at how to retrain our body and get back in touch with the natural rhythms so that we can feel what'll happen is there's like a unique subtle force that'll come up and emerge. And that's not going to happen unless we can bring ourselves back into harmony. So we do that by creating a routine. So here's the routine. Your routine is you awaken before sunrise to give your body a chance to connect with the rhythm of the sun, right? And by the way, that's also if you awaken just before the sun is coming up, that's typically a vata time. So it's a lighter, more subtle time of the day. It's not as heavy. So it's a little bit easier time to wake up. And as soon as you wake up, you want to eliminate your urine. And if you can eliminate your stool as well, that's great. Not everybody's able to do that first thing. So you do that after rising. And then this depends on the person. You're either going to do the self-oiling at that point, or you could take a shower and do the oil, right? I do the oil after I shower. And then we look at our tongue, and you're going to look at your tongue to see if you have coloring like green, yellow, or white film. And then you get a tongue scraper and you scrape your tongue 5 to 10 times, right? And what that does is it stimulates digestion. It helps stoke the digestion. You want to remove any coating that's on your tongue. Coating on your tongue is toxins, okay? It's undigested food, or it's built up stagnation and toxins in the system. So you want to remove that, all right? Then you brush your teeth after you eat. You want to floss daily to prevent gum disease. You also want to do just once a week. You take one of those little eye cups, you can get them at the drugstore, and you add half warm water and about 10 squirts of rose water. And then you do a little eye wash. And what this does is it helps remove kapha buildup, right? So it helps remove and keeps your eyes clear. You just do it once a week, okay? You can also use triphala tea. That's another thing that we do, but we'll talk about that later. But what it does is it removes the kapha out of the eyes. So kapha, remember, is water and earth. Okay. So then you also want to clean out your nasal passages. I do neti every day, but you need to be careful not to dry out your sinus cavity. So a lot of the ear, nose, and throat doctors will tell you, oh, you got to be careful with the neti pot. But you know, the neti pot's been around for thousands of years. You just, depending upon your dosha, you have to do what's appropriate for your dosha. So you do neti. After you do neti, you either take a little bit of ghee, or you take an oil specifically for the nasal, the sinuses, and then you put it up in there and you massage that in, and it helps lubricate and nourish the tissues in there. Also creates a barrier between that tissue and also the particulates outside. So it's going to prevent irritation. It's very good for pitta to do neti. So if you are more pitta and you hate brain fog, neti pot helps with that. It helps you feel clear in your mind. Okay, so neti, it also helps increase prana. So your ability to take in prana, which is vital force and breath. So that's also an incredible benefit to doing neti. Okay. Then you want to do a little bit of yoga appropriate for your constitution, or at least meditate. Okay. So I do a daily meditation, always. I eliminate, I do my meditation, and then I shower, and then I do my oil, right? But I do all of it. I tongue scrape, I do all of it. So after you meditate, at some point you need to do the daily oil, the abhyanga, self-abhyanga, and that is applying a constitutionally appropriate oil to your skin. So depending upon your dosha, you want to use an oil that's appropriate for you. Then when you go to sleep at night, you go to bed before 10. And you go to bed before 10 because after 10, it's now moving into pitta time. So the energy of that after 10, the energy changes. So you move into a more active flow of energy, right? So you want to go to bed at least by 10, okay? And no reading, no TV, no reading. So I would actually suggest yoga nidra or vipassana, where you just do a body scan. You go through your body and you relax the whole body, and then you go to sleep. And the reason why we're not reading and we're not listening to anything and we're not watching TV or looking at our devices is because we don't want to stimulate the brain. Okay. We don't want to stimulate the mind. We want to calm it down. And that is a big reason why people are not sleeping today and they have anxiety. I just listened to a really great podcast on sleep. And they were saying that it's because people don't allow themselves to become bored. And boredom is important because when you're bored, it allows your brain waves to slow down and you then tap into your own creativity and also rest. It rests the brain. Okay. All right. So that's our talk for tonight. Let's hope it recorded. Okay.